Hello and welcome to Ptv'S Tonight. I am Poloum, David. The Department of State Security Service has debunked claims that marksmen from the service whisked Senator Dino Malai to an unknown destination. In a statement by a spokesman of the service, Ptv'S, the DSS said a Kogi West lawmaker was brought by the police to the DSS facility for further medical attention and the spirit of interagency cooperation. The statement pointed out that Malai was brought to the DSS facility after obtaining a 14-day detention warrant with effect from the 9th of January 2019. Afunanya said the aim of transferring Senator Malai to the services facility is to complement police efforts in giving Malai a deserved medical attention. The DSS stated that it had become necessary to issue a public statement to clarify false allegations that hooded men suspected to be DSS operatives abducted Malai from the Ptv'S hospital. The APC has alleged that its website has been hacked by some unknown persons. In a short statement by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Larry Saunilu, he stated that the office was directed by the website to have been pulled down, while steps are on the way to clean it up and have the site secured before it can be put to full use again. Onilu in the statement stressed that the party will not allow desperate people succeed in their evil plots. And also, election matters now with barely 35 days to the general elections. A cross-section of residents of the Federal Capital Territory have showed their level of readiness to vote during the upcoming elections. Poloum took to the streets and brought back this report.
The month of February is very important in the lives of Nigerians, especially those of the voting age, who look forward to choosing their favorite leaders in what is considered worldwide to be the most keenly contested elections. Nigerian politicians at the moment are in a state of anxiety, while the electorate can be said to be in a squatting fair for better choices.
I beg fellow Nigerians, we should vote wisely. Let every one of us have his PVC. Cast your vote wisely for the sake of our children and the good of our Nigeria and our nation, Africa. You know, most of the time before we are not voting, but this coming election, we Nigerians, we are prepared with our voters card to cast our vote for the real person and the real candidates to take Nigeria forward. One
of the respondents says Nigerians are ready to vote for their rights, looking at the situation in the country.
I think everybody is ready because the situation we are in this country, things are a little bit different from what it used to be in the past since we were born. So I think both old, young, male and female, we are all ready for the elections. And it has to be a decisive one.
To this Nigerian, the electorate are ready, but he foresee a peaceful poll in some region and a rigged poll in other regions.
There will be an atom of ringing, but I think in a very good percentage, a very recommendable one in some parts of the country. That will be free and fair, but I know some catch area like Kano, Rivers, there will be issues. I know definitely there will be issues. So, but everybody pray that it will be free and fair, but definitely there will be ringing, there will be violence, and there will be a lot of manipulation. Some of that places that they think is opposition party may dominate.
Other respondents have their views.
The way I'm seeing this politician this time, especially APC, the way they use their appointee is not normal. Especially this woman, what is his name? This Aisha Bakarabi wants. The way they appoint them is not supposed to be like that now. Some will not be so.
The way the ruling party they are going about their distance is not the way it's supposed to be. Generally, they're supposed to balance the appointment. They're supposed to make things easy for the masses out there, because we are the one voting them into power. So they have to listen to our voice whenever we are crying, because it's not only themselves that they care for. So they have to look back at us and know what we need so that things will become right again.
As the election is fast approaching, Nigerians are hopeful to have a say in the choice of their leaders. Poloum, PTV News, Abuja.
And now off to Kwara State, with Senate President Bukola Saraki has called on Nigerians to hold the Inspector General of Police responsible if anything happens to him or members of his family in the coming months. Saraki stated this at the PDP presidential campaign headquarters Abuja, where he stated that some unidentified men invaded his family house in Ilorin and inflicted injury on some occupants of the house in the full glare of the Nigerian police. He linked the events befalling him and his family to the support he has lent to the PDP in Kwara State, adding that the police has continually showed undisguised hostility to him and his supporters in Kwara State. Still in Kwara State now, 2 PDP members have been admitted in hospital after they were allegedly shot at by thugs loyal to APC in Ilorin. The shooting occurred at Adewole Ward in Ilorin West local government area, where PDP members from Okeare zone had gathered for the monthly meeting and were viciously attacked by one Yahaya Gambari, who leads an outlawed faction of the APC in Kwara State. A statement from the spokesman of the PDP in Ilorin showed Shafaraddin alleges that Yahaya Gambari was in possession of several arms and ammunition, including an AK-47 during the attack. His supporters also shouted slogans like Otege to scare PDP supporters who were gathered for the monthly zonal meeting. On Rivers State now, the Rivers State chapter of the APC said it has no plans of adopting a candidate from another party for the governorship election because it does not envisage losing its case at the Appeal and Supreme Courts. State Publicity Secretary of the party, Chris Fineborn, made this known on Saturday. Fineborn said it was hypothetical to imagine that the party would lose its matter both at Appeal and Supreme Courts. He stressed that the state's APC will determine the next line of action by the time it exhausts all the judicial options available to it. Fineborn was confident the chances of losing at Appeal and Supreme Court was too slim, but added that the party will determine what to do if it finds itself in the position. The Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibinkule Amosun, has urged Ogun people to vote right and come out in mass to cast the ballot for President Muhammadu Buhari. Amosun gave the charge when he told 10 words in Iwekoro local government area of Ogun State. Now, according to him, a vote for Amosun will help ensure a better future for Nigerians and a consolidation of developments in critical infrastructure that the country is already enjoying.
It's not just my election, no. The one, the very first one that we must all do is the one for President Muhammadu Buhari.
You're on to Ptv'S tonight. You can download our app Ptv Nigeria in Google Play Store for Android or App Store for iOS. Keep up with us live on our website www.ptvng.com/live. You can also follow our social media platforms as displayed on your screen.
My name is Corps Commander Wobin Ayubagora. I am the Sector Commander at Federal Road Safety Corps, FCT Sector Command. For latest information about road safety and security, watch People's TV.
My name is Carlo Emeto. I'm the Public Relations Officer, Directorate of Road Traffic Services. For news, safety, and security information, watch People's Television.
Welcome back. And out to security matters. The Nigerian Army on Friday buried 14 soldiers killed in an ambush by Boko Haram terrorists on December 24, 2018. The 14 soldiers who were in escort duty were ambushed on their way back to Kaduna by the terrorists on Damaturu Maiduguri Road. The General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Mohammed said it was a grim day in the division and the entire family. Ptv'S correspondent in Kaduna, Amina Inebe, reports that the GOC added He said that the fallen heroes gave their lives in the service of Nigeria and the good of Nigerian people. The GOC charged the troops to regard the death of their colleagues as antidote for inspiration and determination to go all out and rid their respective areas of operation of kidnappers, bandits, and other criminal elements.
Division and the entire army as we bury these fallen heroes today. We are gathered here not only to mourn, but also to celebrate their lives. They lived and fought alongside with all of us. We are pained, but we can celebrate what they have done, what they have achieved in ensuring a one Nigeria. Their sacrifices shall not be in vain. I am convinced that we are celebrating their lives, their achievements as fallen heroes. When we leave this place, we have an understanding that these men here gave the supreme sacrifice for the greater quest of national defense and preservation of Nigerian people. I must state that all this we know in our grief is nothing compared to what their loved ones are going through. To the loved ones, be steadfast. Please, they need your prayers. We need your strength so that those left behind can have a good resolve to move on. You may take solace in the knowledge that they are true heroes of Nigerian Army and our country. Your husbands and the children and the ultimate sacrifice they made is for this country. They did not die in vain, as they have given the ultimate duty to Nigeria.
The necessary equipment that will support the soldiers, because the soldiers are ready to fight, sincerely speaking. If there is a lot of equipment, what is meant for the soldiers, they should try and give them in the aspect of financial aspect, taking care of their family, especially if the soldier died. They should emphasize mostly on the life of the family, especially the younger ones. Also, they should try and do their best. They have been doing it, but they should put more effort in doing it more, so that as the child grows, he will grow to be a better somebody in life.
What's your full name?
Still on security matters, the army has arrested a wanted Boko Haram member, Babagana Abubakar, aka Alagarno, at Bulabulim and Garanam community on the outskirts of Maiduguri. Brigadier General Sani Usman, the army spokesman, revealed in a statement that Abubakar was arrested in a house where he was hiding in the community. According to Usman, 2 military ballistic helmets, a pair of military desert boots, a fragment jacket, a jersey pullover, military backpack, camouflage design shorts, 2 photo identification cards, a national identification card amulets, camouflage t-shirts, and a military jungle hats were recovered from the terrorists. In Sokoto State now, the Nigerian Army has arrested 7 men who are members of a group of hoodlums causing trouble and extorting money from innocent citizens in Sokoto State. The acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, Major Clement Abaida, made this known in Sokoto. He said the suspects were apprehended at the Kalambaina and the Federal Government College Junction in Sokoto on Wednesday. Abaida said the suspects were allegedly seen throwing stones indiscriminately while they chanted political slogans. He added that the men intercepted the suspects who were moving into 2 vehicles and found to be in possession of dangerous weapons. Some other members of the group fled the scene to avoid arrest. Abaida gave the names of the suspects as Awalu Shehu, Brutala Gaba, Jamailu, Bello Abubakar Aliyu, Musa Abubakar, Jairayu Aliyu, and Bashir Shafarawa. In aviation now, commercial flight operations have resumed at the Makurdi Airport. Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar disclosed this in a directive to the Air Officer Commanding Tactical Air Command AVM Oladayo Amao and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. The airport was closed sometimes in November 2018 for repairs. The committee offers more of this report presented from our studio.
Chief of the Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar on inspection tour to ascertain the level of work done so far on the Makurdi airfield. The Air Force Chief commended the level of professionalism adopted in carrying out the repair work. He said the repairs carried out so far on the airfield has now put to rest the initial speculations that the airfield might have been closed for an ulterior motive.
But the taxiways are fairly okay. For the civil aircraft that will park on the other side, they don't have anything to do with this taxiway or the arming bay, which means civil traffic into Makurdi can actually be restored immediately. So let us go ahead and send the necessary papers, send out the NOTAM so that people will realize that the Makurdi airfield is now open to civil traffic, while you are doing the aspect that has to do with our military operations, which is the army bay on the 2 ends. It is now very clear that this Air Force is a professional Air Force that has nothing to do with who is landing here or who is not landing here.
Earlier, the Air Force Officer Commanding AVM Oladayo Amao had informed the Chief of Air Staff that work in the airfield was already at 80% complete stage and should be fully completed by the end of January, subject to the availability of sealants.
The art is sourcing for the sealants. Hopefully, at the end of the month we are talking, that is subject to the availability of the sealants. We hope we will get it as much, and that is why the runway has been closed. What we do for military aircraft that operates here, we inform the workers and they quickly pack their things away, and once the aircraft land, they commence the work again. But we cannot do that for civil aircraft because there are rules, ICAO rules that they have to follow. We are military operators. We operate in different conditions from civil aircraft, and that is why we have to close the runway while this work is being done, sir.
The Air Chief also inspected the newly installed prototype wireless alarm system that can cover up to 4 kilometers, the runway, the drainage system, and directed the prototype wireless alarm system be immediately replicated in Maiduguri, Port Harcourt, and Yola.
And on the foreign scene now, starting from Gabon, this President Ali Bongo, who has been out of the country for 2 months recovering from a stroke, named the new Prime Minister on Saturday in an apparent effort to show up its political base days after a failed coup attempt. The plotters of Monday's coup attempts were arrested or killed within hours of seizing the national radio station, but the move reflected growing frustrations with the government weakened by Bongo's secrets of medical leave in Morocco. In a decree read by the Secretary General of the Presidency on national television early on Saturday morning, Bongo named Julien Nkoge Bakali as Prime Minister, replacing Emmanuel Isoze Ngodet, who has served since 2016. Isoze Ngodet's tenure was marked by a sharp drop in oil output and prices that has squeezed revenues, raised debts, and stoked discontent at the OPEC member states. In Congo now, security forces have deployed near the residence of opposition presidential candidate Martin Fayulu in Democratic Republic of Congo. He insists he won last month's election and is due to file a court petition. Fayulu has demanded a manual recount, but the Electoral Commission declared another opposition leader, Felix Tshisekedi, the winner. Fayulu accused Tshisekedi of striking a power-sharing deal with an outgoing president, Joseph Kabila. In Sudan now, an influential Sudanese imam had to be removed from a mosque in the capital, Khartoum, after worshippers confronted him for not leading protests against embattled President Omar al-Bashir. In a video shared on social media, a man appeared to shout at Imam Abdul Hay Yusuf, who often backs the government, gets up and lead us from the mosque, in quotes. A frantic crowd then chants downfall of the regime only, in quotes. Police fired tear gas at protesters who marched after Friday's prayers. 3 weeks of demonstrations have left 22 people dead across the country. In the U.S. now, the White House has condemned the New York Times report that the FBI opened an inquiry into whether President Trump was secretly working for Russia. Law enforcement officials became concerned by Trump's behavior in May 2017 when he sacked FBI Director James Comey. The paper says the investigation reportedly examined whether Trump was a national security threat. Trump said there was no reason and no proof for setting up such a probe. In 2016, U.S. intelligence agencies concluded that Russia had launched cyber attacks and planted fake news stories and social media in a bid to boost Donald Trump for damage his rival for presidency, Hillary Clinton. Russia's only space radio telescope is no longer responding to commands from the Earth, officials say. The Aerospace Center chief, Nikola Harvastia, said some of the Spectre-R satellite communication system has stopped working. Russia's space agency Roscosmos said the telescope had been operational ways beyond its expected 5-year lifespan. Specialists had repeatedly tried and failed to fix the lost connection. Kadyrov shares. Yuri Kolova, the head of research for the Spectre-R project, said the link went down in the morning of 11 January, but added that there is still hope, in quotes. The wreck of a World War I German submarine is gradually resurfacing on the beach in the northern France after decades of being buried in the sand. Shifting sand of Wissens near Calais is exposing the remains of the UC-61, which was stranded there in July 1917. The crew flooded the vessel and abandoned it, and by the 1930s, the submarine had largely been buried. It is now becoming a tourist attraction again, although the local mayor warns it may only be fleeting visits. Since December, 2 sections of the submarine had been visible at low tide about 330 feet from the dunes. Chinese telecoms equipment maker Huawei said on Saturday it had terminated the employment of a Chinese worker arrested on spying allegations in Poland. Polish authorities on Friday arrested Wang Weijing and a former Polish security official on spying allegations, a move that could fuel Western security concerns about the telecoms equipment maker. Huawei said this in a statement that the employees' alleged workers, in quotes, have no relation to the company. The company added that the decision was made as the incident has brought the company into disrepute. Huawei, the world's biggest producer of telecoms equipment, faces intense scrutiny in the West over its relationship with the Chinese government and the U.S.-led allegations that the equipment could be used for Beijing for spying. The Syrian state news agency said Israeli warplanes fired a number of missiles toward the Damascus area on Friday, triggering Syria air defense that shot down most of them. Syrian state media broadcast footage of what said the air defense firing with bright lights seen shooting across the night sky. Explosions were heard in one of the videos. Israelis mounted attacks on Syria as part of its efforts to counter the influence carved out there by Iran, which has supported President Bashir al-Assad in the war that erupted in 2011. The last Israeli attack reported by Syrian state media was on December 25th when a missile attack wounded 3 Syrian soldiers. And finally on sports, Hardik Pandya and KL Rahul has been suspended by India's cricket board after their comments about women on the television show. The ban is with immediate effect, and the pair have been told to return home from the tour of Australia to explain themselves. The decision was taken even though both had apologized. An inquiry and proceedings will be made against them for misconduct and indiscipline. Pandya, who is 25, and Rahul, who is 26, was speaking at popular celebrity talk show Coffee with Karen, which was hosted by Bollywood filmmaker Karan Johar. The chat show on the 6th season, and this was the first time cricketers had appeared on the sofa. Piana spoke about hookups with several women and said he liked to observe women at bars or nightclubs. And that's the much we have for you on Ptv's tonight. Many thanks for watching. I am Poloum David. Have a good night.